to join in our silver yarn to any chain 2 corner space. Pinch your yarn like so and wrap the yarn around your hook about 3 times. Insert your hook into the corner space, grab the yarn and pull through 2, pull through 2. So now we're going to work another treble into that corner space. Can I get rid of that? Chain 2 and 2 treble into the corner space. So that's what we're going to be doing into every corner. 2 treble, 2 chain, 2 treble. So now what we're going to do is we are missing that next treble, not working into that, and we're putting a treble into the next stitch along, which is the half treble from the previous round. Treble into the next stitch, which is into the DC of the previous round. And then we're going to work a front post treble around the next front post double treble. So we're not crossing them over or missing one, you're just working into that very next one here. Okay, now we're working a DC into that DC that we put in between these 2 stitches that was in that corner space. And now front post treble into the next front post double treble from the previous round. And now I'm missing that next DC and working a treble into the next stitch and a treble into the next stitch. And now, as before, we're working that corner. 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles, all into that corner space. And then we're starting off from here. So it was miss that next stitch, treble into the next, and treble into the next, which is a DC from the previous round. And now I'm missing, we're working a front post treble around that next front post double treble, DC into the DC in between those 2 crossed over front post trebles, and a front post treble around the next front post double treble. There we go. And now I'm missing that DC here. I'm working a treble into the next stitch and a treble into the next. Okay, and now the 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles into that corner space. Okay, so now all you have to do is work along this edge as before. 2 trebles, 2 chains, 2 trebles into here. Not forgetting to miss, when you start off from here, miss that stitch there. Don't forget to miss that DC after you've done your front post treble, and same here, miss that stitch and miss that DC after the front post treble here. Okay, so you'll be finishing with a treble into this stitch here. So when you get to that point, I'll see you then. So now that we've got to the end of round 5, we should have in between each 2 corner space, we should have 8 trebles, your 2 front post trebles and a DC, and that's it. So you've got your 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and your 11. Yeah. So if you've got that, along each side are good to finish it off. So joining as usual with an invisible join, cutting a tail, using the hook to pull that tail through. Now we're inserting our hook into that second stitch which lies in between these two, into there. Grabbing the yarn, pulling it through to the front, putting our hook into that last treble that you did, just into the back loop of that stitch, grabbing the yarn and pulling it through to the back. Okay, so that's round 5 complete. Now we can grab our cream yarn and begin round 6. So we're going to take our cream yarn and join to any chain 2 corner space with a standing half treble. So we're going to take the yarn, pinch it down to the hook and wrap around about 3 times. Insert the hook into the chain 2 corner space. Grab the yarn and pull to the front. Yarn over, pull through 3. So we're going to have to help that one, that loop over there. There's your standing half treble. Now we're going to put another half treble into that corner space. Chain 2 and 2 half trebles into the corner space. So that's what every corner is going to be like, 2 half trebles, 2 chains, 2 half trebles. Now into the next stitch around that post we're going to work a front post treble. And now we're working 1 half treble into each of the next stitches. So half treble, half treble, half treble. And now we're working a front post treble around the next front post treble here. Now we're going to work 2 half trebles into the next DC. 1, 2, and a full treble, front post treble around your next front post treble. There we go. And now we're going to miss this next stitch and work 2 half trebles over the next 2 stitches. So we're not working into that one there. Miss that and work 1 half treble and another half treble into the next stitch. There we go. And then we're working front post treble around that last treble on that edge around here. There we go. So that is what we're repeating. So we're doing that again along this edge. So as before, we're working 2 half trebles, 2 chains, 2 half trebles into the corner. Now we're working a front post treble around the next treble. One half treble into each of the next 3 stitches. A front post treble around the next front post treble. 2 half trebles into the next DC. And a front post treble around the next front post treble. and not forgetting to miss that next stitch. So I'm missing that one and just putting 1 half treble into each of the next 2 stitches. And then a front post treble around that last treble of that row. Okay, so that's your repeat. So we've done it twice. So we need to work the same as we've done into these corners, into here, 2 half trebles, 2 chains, 2 half trebles. And working along here as you've done along here, working the corner the same and then working to here. So you should be ending with a front post treble around your last treble, and don't forget to miss. So here when you start off the row, you've got you work your front post treble into this stitch, then you work 3 half trebles along the next 3 stitches, and then work your front post treble around here. When you start that repeat again on this side here, you miss this stitch, so you don't do that 3 half trebles into each stitch, you just do 2, which is very easy to forget about. Okay, so I'll see you when you get to this point. So now that we've come to the end of round 6, let's have a look at the stitches. So in between each 2 chain space, we should have 2 half trebles, 1 front post treble, 3 half trebles, 1 front post treble, 2 half trebles, 1 front post treble, 2 half trebles, 1 front post treble, 2 half trebles. Okay, so it's all symmetrical apart from here you've only got 2, whereas here you've got 3 half trebles. Okay, so if you've got them stitches the same from each corner space, then we're okay to finish off. So you should have finished with the front post treble. That should be your last stitch there. So we're going to finish with an invisible join. Use the hook to pull the yarn up. Insert your hook in between them 2 stitches so it's into that 2nd stitch. Get the tail end from where you've just cut it. Wrap the yarn and pull through to the front. And then that very last front post treble that you did, inserting your hook from back to front, just picking up that back loop of that stitch, grabbing the yarn and pulling through to the back. Okay, so that finishes off round 6. We need to grab our black yarn now for round 7. So we're going to join our black yarn with a standing DC to any chain 2 corner space. So pinch the yarn like so, wrap it round about 3 times, insert your hook into the corner space, grab the yarn, pull to the front, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to put another 2 DC into that corner space. 1, 2. So you've got 3 DC in your corner. Now we're going to miss the next stitch and we're going to work a DC into each stitch to the next corner. And because we've missed one, we should have 14 DC. So your 8th DC should be landing in that 2nd half treble that's in between your 2 front post trebles. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So excluding the 3 DC that are in the corner and missing that first one, that first stitch, you're not working into that one there, you should have 14 DC along here. Okay, and now we can put the 3 DC into the corner space again, and then we're doing the same again, missing that first stitch and working 14 DC across. With your 8th one landing in that second half treble from round 6 that's in between the 2 front post trebles. So that's your 8th one there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So that's what we need to do again, along here and along here. 3 DC into this corner space, missing your first stitch there and working 14 across to your next corner, where you're going to put 3 DC, miss your first stitch, and 1 DC into each stitch until you get to the last stitch of that round. So now we've got to the end of round 7. We are now going to make sure we've got the right stitches. So you should have your 3 DC into each corner with 14 DC in between your corner stitches. Okay, so if you've got 14 along each edge and your 3 in each corner, you should be right. Okay, so now we're going to join as usual with an invisible join. Cut the yarn and use your hook to pull through. And I hope you can see on this because it's very dark yarn. So we're inserting our hook into that first stitch that we can see. So you get that little and 2 little stitches there. Grab the yarn that you've just cut and hook over, pull it through to the front, and that very last DC that you did, inserting your hook from back to front, just pick up the back of that loop, grab the yarn from the front and pull it through to the back. So that's round 7 completed. We're going to grab our grey yarn for round 8.